This is humbling living out here. They would pick a 6 out of 10 white girl over Brianna. You know, like that's the kind of shit people are doing out here. And then you have to worry about them picking you because of like a fetish. I just need me a Latina mommy. Or I just need me a mixed bag. Like the guys that do like me are like the lowest tier human beings. Right out and barren out here. It's hard seeing people in different places that look exactly like you and they're being treated like queens. And I'm like, keep your head high. Keep your head high, ladies. I'm keeping my head.
No, because I like white men and I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do about it because I'm not what they... But I like him. I always like them.
You know, there's a lot of conversation and there is so much content out there about how Black men are able to level up and improve their lifestyle as soon as they married a white man and were essentially integrated into the white community. They got access to better homes, a better lifestyle. Now they're in their soft girl era. Now he's cooking for her and massaging her back, and they're going on vacation every month, and life is fantastic. But what usually is not talked about are the dynamics that oftentimes Black people have to navigate when they are in environments where they are the minority, right? When they're in all white environments, when they are othered. Like that's not oftentimes talked about. And what that can mean when they have kids. When they have kids and they're living in these upper middle class white environments or these upper class white environments or middle class white environments, but just they're in suburban areas with white folk and they are the Black person there. Like there's not a ton of conversation about what that is actually like. So I ran across this video. This is a mixed race woman who is in Iowa. And what she said is really interesting. I'm just gonna play it and then we can go from there.
Being non-white in the Midwest is not for the weak. Being blonde and white is the ideal type. Like I live in Iowa and 90% of the population here is white people.
Let me say this. Well, and she's a beautiful woman. No one's going to look at her and say that she's unattractive. So you might think, oh, wow, she should have many options or she should not have a problem having relationships with people or finding interest. But here she is telling you that as a mixed race woman, she is not getting any play because she's got blonde hair and blue eyes. And let me tell you, I actually had a white friend of mine who moved from California to like the Midwest, essentially. And she was a brunette. She had dark hair, dark eyes, and she moved into an area where it was all blonde hair and blue-eyed. And she felt really, really awkward. This is a white girl. I remember us having a few conversations about this. So if I know white people who come from more liberal, more diverse places, who move to areas that are all white and they can feel a little othered if they maybe are coming with a certain energy or they don't fit the phenotype, how much more is somebody who's mixed race or Black? And this is what is not being talked about when we are mentioning the divested and the divesting and hypergamy and level up. First of all, a lot of ladies who are trying to get into that kind of environment, who are trying to hypergamy their way into the upper middle class environment, don't even have the culture for it. They wouldn't understand how to be if they were even to get there. They would be completely unprepared. So it's not all like pixies and daisies if you were able to get a dude who wants to marry you and who actually has money and can do all these things. Like even if you are able to successfully do that, which honestly few women are, but even if you are successfully able to marry outside of your community into a rich white man or one who's in the upper middle class or whatever, you're still going to have other issues to navigate. And here you now have a prime example of this is now a biracial, a product of a Black parent and a white parent, who is having issues fitting in. Now enter what was historically called tragic mulatto syndrome. Is this what she's experiencing? So anyway, let's continue.
To you guys, like you guys might be like, oh, you look so good. Fam, I'm like the bold pick. I'm an exotic pick. It's raha here. I was born in Florida, and if I grew up and lived in Florida, I know that I would probably be completely different person with completely different experiences because this is humbling living out.
Yeah, see, in Florida, that's where you can't enter because you're too dark. You can't enter because you're too fat. I mean, I see videos of that all the time. Dark-skinned women complaining about they can't get no love because they're too, that's a whole other content. But I see what she's saying. She definitely kind of has maybe the look. Now, she may be like the darkest that's accepted in some of these clubs because I know even out in Florida, colorism is super real. Like I said, you're dealing with now the whole mejorando la raza stuff that comes with the Hispanic community because you have a lot of Latinos who come in there, and some of them are still kind of on that whole, like, you know, they're still on the whole white is right ideal, and they're trying to assimilate into the white culture, so they push that. So that's a real thing, but nevertheless, what she's saying is right. Her environment probably, or her experience would have been different if she was in a different environment, but because she's in a place where blonde hair and blue-eyed is the norm and the standard, that's going to feel really awkward when you're not that, and you don't have other experiences that are reinforcing that how you are is also okay. And again, this is someone who's actually would be considered conventionally attractive, I feel like.
Out here, they would pick a 6 out of 10 white girl over Rihanna. You know, like, that's the kind of shit people
I believe that. And yeah, because some of them, they want white babies. And Rihanna, it doesn't matter how beautiful you are. Rihanna can't give a white man a white baby. Some of you guys may want to point to like the 0.01% of black moms who were able to push out a blonde-haired, blue-eyed baby somehow, shape, or form because of a genetic mutation or genetic whatever. Yeah, we understand the Eve gene, we get it. But by and large, white men are not marrying or getting in relationships with black women to create white kids. If they want a white kid or a blonde-haired, blue-eyed kid, their best luck of having that is being with a white woman. So some people are thinking that. That's what a lot of women are still thinking. And honestly, I don't even see anything wrong with it. Like, if you're a person who loves your culture and you're like, you want to procreate, I don't see anything wrong with that inherently. It's only a problem, I think, if it becomes a reason to disparage another race, or if there's racism involved and it's like you're trying to oppress people, like you're saying that they're worse than you, like that's when it becomes an issue. But for me, like, white guys inherently being attracted to other white women is not a problem at all. I actually think that's kind of normal and healthy, and I'm like, there's no DEI in dating and dating, personally.
You have to worry about them picking you because of like a fetish. I just need me a Latina mommy, or I just need me a mixed bag.
Yeah, some do that. But
I'm just trying to be with someone who loves me. It's also worse out here when like the guys that do like me are like the lowest tier human beings.
So what she's basically saying is she's getting the quote bottom shelf brads. And again, this is someone who will be considered conventionally attractive, and in another environment, she'd probably have a lot more options. But she's in the Midwest. Like, you're in the... And that's what I'm saying. You can divest all you want. You know, divest, expand your options, go marry your little white king, and move to the mountains, Ozark Mountains, where they're building white-only town, if you're accepted. Do that. Just also, you want to be aware of what that's going to mean, not only for you, maybe your kids, and hopefully you're having those conversations, or hopefully you're doing things where you are putting that child in environments where they can feel celebrated for who they are. They don't constantly feel othered and grow up with some form of issues of self-hating, or grow up with a complex. So now when they're an adult, they feel like they gotta hide themselves, or they only want to date a certain race because they want to try to, deal with the black or get rid of the blackness, or just, all the weird things that people do when they are basically trying to run from the black experience that even biracials have. Because yes, biracials can have the black experience. This is what she is experiencing, essentially. She's having a ninja moment as a biracial. So when there is, I think, a healthy, concerted effort for people who live in that kind of environment to have other experiences, whether it's they're traveling, they're involved in their community in other ways, like, then I think it helps to bring balance. But if you're just a biracial or a black person in an all-white community and you don't have any interaction with your own community regularly, where your culture, who you are, is being reinforced and instilled in you, that can be really traumatizing and can be very hard to manage. And that's the downside of expanding your options, hypergamy, divesting, that no one wants to talk about. That's another downside.
And I'm so sorry to say that, but I'm saying like they contribute absolutely nothing to society. They're degenerates, or they're criminals, or they're just wilding. Like, what vibe am I giving off? My parents have always recommended to find our love elsewhere, and I understand why. It is drought and barren out here. It's hard seeing people in different places that look exactly like you and they're being treated like queens. And I'm like, keep your head high. Keep your head high, ladies. I'm keeping my head.
There you have it. I just wanted to show you two examples. These were two lighter skinned. One, the first one, I don't know if she was mixed race or she was light skinned, but two cute, attractive black women, right, who are having or have had really difficult times getting play from white men. Like, two black women who grew up in all white environments, who were in all white environments and feel very much othered. And I'm like, this is why I constantly continue to talk about the downside of the swirling and divesting propaganda. One, because it gives me AdSense dollars and y'all tend to like this content. But two, because there's just so much lack of reality around it. And yeah, there are challenges associated with being in an environment where you are othered, where you are the minority, where you're not only not celebrated, you're seen as like bottom of the barrel. And as I said, if you're not being put in other environments to help reinforce that message, that can be a challenge. So I can't imagine what it's like. Hopefully she gets out of Iowa or the Midwest and goes somewhere else where there's gonna be more diversity and there's just going to be a different experience. But anyway, y'all, what do you think about this whole thing? Let me know down in the comment section. Thank you so much for listening if you've gotten this far, and we'll talk later. Bye!
I'm really excited to announce my new kids book, Aisha Learns to Love Her Hair. Aisha's hair is stunning, but she struggles to see its beauty. Through encouragement and wisdom from Grandma Lily, Aisha learns powerful lessons about self-acceptance. Aisha's journey is a heartwarming tale of family, culture, and confidence. Share her magical journey with your little loved one today. Available for purchase.